Good afternoon, everybody. Happy to be live today. I'm Mitchell Saum. I'm the Director of Sales at BDV Solutions. I'm here today with Mandy Feuerbacher, right?
Yes, you got it
There we
perfect.
go. I was practicing before our live video. So
I could tell.
Mandy is the Executive Vice President at Argo Visa. Argo Visa is a consulting service that prepares applicants that are about to go to a visa interview. So BDV's clients go to visa interviews, and BDV partners with Argo, and our clients will get an Argo visa consultation to prepare them for their interview. So, Mandy, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Mitchell. And, whenever I talk about Argo, I always mention, just why we're different than any other consulting service. Every single Argo officer is a former US government consular officer and US government immigration official. So we've just had so much experience working behind the visa window, knowing exactly what goes into these decisions, how we look at cases. And, we're really happy to bring the service to BDV clients because I think EB3 visa interviews can sometimes be a little bit tougher than your average visa interview.
Definitely. And I've been working in immigration for almost 4 years now, and I know that previously, before Argo existed, a lot of our clients would get an interview prep with their attorneys, but I think it's just so different to have a prep from someone who actually did the interviews and conducted the interviews themselves. And it definitely is just a different perspective.
That's absolutely right, Mitchell. And one other thing too is we actually have been helping a lot of immigration attorneys to prepare their own clients for visa interviews because especially if you're doing consular processing overseas and you're going into your US embassy or consulate, in your home country for these visa interviews, you can't bring anybody else with you. So immigration attorneys are actually kind of navigating the process blindly, just like everybody else. So their experience preparing their clients is based on secondhand, hearing about what happened with their previous clients, but nobody's ever had, the actual information, and we're really the source of where it comes from.
That's awesome. Well, cool. If you haven't already, go to their website, argovisa.com. There's a lot of information about their company and their service that they provide. So I would definitely recommend to check that out. Today, Mandy and this is really going to be a pretty brief little video that we're making here, but Mandy and I are going to talk about the topic that is brought up very often within our community, the EB3 Unskilled community, and it's, can you be overqualified to apply or file the EB3 Unskilled visa? And so we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper today. Mandy, I'll just go ahead and let you start. I mean, I know that you've conducted several interviews yourself through Argo of BDB clients that are probably asking you this question. So
yeah, absolutely. So this is an issue that is encountered by a lot of BDV clients because I think a lot of BDV clients, are probably either already in the US or, they could be coming from overseas, but there's a lot already in the US. They may have already gotten a US education. BDV has pretty high standards for the kinds of employees that it connects with its network of partner employers. And so I think the important thing to focus on always at a visa interview is what makes sense to the visa officer. So if you're coming in, you've gotten your PhD or your master's degree or your bachelor's degree in the United States, but you are, getting a job with BDV as a janitor or possibly in fast food, it's important to help the consular officer understand exactly why you would want to do this job and what does it mean to you to be doing this job, even though you have this degree in something else. And something that I used to always hear as a visa officer when I worked at the US consulate in Hong Kong, and I would do a lot of these EB3 cases, is, people would come to the window and they would say, it is my dream to, do this job. It is my dream to become a janitor in the United States. And it's really difficult for a visa officer to believe that because, clearly you have a master's degree in business administration. It can't possibly be true that this is your dream to do this. So I think visa officers are, they like people to be real. They like to people to be honest and direct. And if taking this job means an opportunity for your family, that is something that's really helpful to mention.
Yeah,
Perhaps it isn't really about the job. Perhaps this is about the chance, for your kids to grow up in the US. I think you want to be truthful and honest, but you don't want to say so much that it confuses the visa officer about your intentions. So sometimes it is a fine line, and that's really what we help you with at Argo. Is we give you feedback after we hear how you answer questions, and we're like, okay, maybe a little bit less of that, maybe a little bit more of this, because it can be a very nuanced process and you want to get it just right.
definitely. I think EB3 Unskilled is so unique because, first of all, not a lot of people have really known about the EB3 Unskilled category. Only, over the past couple of years has it become more mainstream for people. And all the other visa categories, in many cases do require previous requirements, education, experience, that kind of stuff. And so as more people have learned about this particular visa category and the program with unskilled workers, I mean, the question is inevitable to come up. And I think that people are just a little confused because the precedent in their head is that they need education, they need experience. But this category particularly is just so different because the jobs that are sponsoring for this employment-based category, don't require education. They don't require experience. And
Right.
so people get confused because, well, maybe they might have higher education. They might be a business owner. They might be a
Yeah.
lawyer from their home country. And they don't feel like it's necessarily the right fit for them. But the
Mm.
reality is, it's the right fit for anyone who wants to fit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're willing to do that job and your intent is true to go and work in that job, it doesn't
hmm
matter who you are or what you have done in your past.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's tough, and I could imagine, people being nervous going into their interviews, just knowing that, oh, I have a master's degree and I'm working at McDonald's.
hmm
Um, and what do I say to the officer if he asks me why am I doing this job even though I have a master's degree? And so
Right.
I think that that's where, you know, working with Argo Visa is incredibly important because every single client has their own unique circumstance to come to y'all with information about themselves and their backgrounds, and y'all can help craft that answer that they might have to respond to.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good point, Mitchell, is, you know, people are so used to preparing and showing everything that they've done in their life, how it leads up to this moment. And that's why I'm like, really, it's not about what you've done in your past and whether or not this job makes sense. It's more about how you present it to the visa officer in a way that helps them understand it. And this is also why you will, and this is for applicable for other visa categories as well, you can get two people with exactly the same life circumstances, and one person will get approved a visa and the other person will be like, the visa officer is really maybe confused by the answer or didn't like what he heard. And so that visa gets denied. So it's really, really important to prepare and get it just right because there's a lot of things that you're balancing here. And how to be confident, because confidence is also a really, really important factor in the
Yeah.
interview. If you sound like you know what you're talking about, you've prepared for it, you're ready, for whatever question that they're, about to ask you, instead of, I think with some of our clients, there's been, sort of a deer in headlights, like I didn't expect that. And at the
Yeah.
visa interview, because it doesn't take that long generally for EB3s, I would say it's between, 10 and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Any sort of hesitation or pause or nervousness could be interpreted to mean something that you don't want it to mean.
Right, right, definitely. And to be totally honest, Mandy, at first when Argo first came out and I became aware of what y'all did, I was a little skeptical, that y'all, really had this proprietary information that
Mm-hmm.
people could benefit from
Mm-hmm.
knowing. But as I've kind of seen Argo develop, I've realized that it really is important and valuable to have a case by case consultation. So, whatever concerns you have as an individual that's going through the process, you can clarify those specific circumstances, your specific situation with a visa officer who can help you craft your answers and help you feel more confident. It's really more than just feeling confident is what I figured out. It really is about, the unique, situation and circumstance of the client. And I think that, the Argo visa consultation is extremely beneficial for our clients at BDV for sure.
Thanks so much, Mitchell. And I think that's absolutely true. Something that might make sense for one client might not make sense for the other, depending on their circumstances, how they came to the US. Are they adjusting status? Are they doing consular processing? All of these things we understand, and we can help you sort of be the most you, be the best you that the visa officer needs to see and understand. It's not like you pretending to be somebody else or taking somebody else's story and making it for yourself. It's really just us understanding what your personal circumstances are and how to best highlight your situation to the visa officer. Because at Argo, we always recommend that clients take a very proactive approach to the visa interview. You can't just sit back and hope that they ask you the right questions. At every opportunity, every time they ask you a question, you should be sending them information that will help them make a decision in your favor and helping you approve your case.
Definitely. Okay, great. This was great. I think just to wrap up, one final thought here is that the answer to the question, which is the title of this video, can you be overqualified? The answer of that question is no, you cannot be overqualified. And maybe, Mandy, do you have a particular instance where you were giving a visa interview for EB3 and someone might have been overqualified?
I don't think so. I don't think there's ever an instance where somebody is too qualified for the EB3 category, because the category itself says that you're unskilled. You don't need any sort of, experience to do this work. The only problem that comes up at the visa interview is if the person doesn't know how to handle the visa interview and they come in and they have an MBA or a master's degree or a PhD, and they're trying to concoct some sort of story to fool the visa officer. That never works. So you want to do it the right way.
No doubt. And I've had clients that have come to me after their interviews and said, I was so scared. And the officer asked me, you have a master's. Why are you working as a janitor? You have a master's from a university in Boston. Why are you working as a janitor in Charleston, South Carolina? That just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, which is understandable. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But the fact of the matter is that if the person has a true intent to go and work in that job with that employer that has that proven labor shortage, that is what is important at the end of the day. And so, our clients get into these situations with visa officers where they get these uncomfortable questions and they feel like maybe they're doing something wrong, or maybe they're trying to go through a loophole or something to get their green card. That's not the truth. It's an employment-based visa, and you have to have the intent to work in that job, regardless of your background, your qualifications. We have PhDs. I have one client that always stands out in my mind. He was in the United States for 12 years as a student, got 2 PhDs, and then ended up getting his green card through the Unskilled program as a janitor. And, we have a lot of clients with different stories similar to that. So the answer is very clear. You can't be overqualified, even if you are actually overqualified for that job. So yeah. Do you have anything else to wrap up?
No, just that, we always love working with BDV clients. And if you're somebody who signed up for the BDV process before this year, before 2021, reach out to us at hello@argovisa.com. Let us know you're a BDV client and we can offer you a big discount on our service, and we're here to help.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today, Mandy. Look forward to doing another one of these live videos soon with another topic that is of high interest to our audience. And I hope you have a great week, and I appreciate everyone for coming online today and watching us.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Mitchell. Till the next time.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.